You are listening to the Malliard Report, a live radio show that ventures into the mysteries of life, as well as the hot topics of the day, either political or business. Good evening, everybody. I want to welcome you to the Malliard Report. If you're not hanging out on the duck pond, you're missing out. Tonight we're doing live calls. Last time for 2021. I have had the years messed up so bad tonight for those people in the duck pond who were already laughing because I said we're going to set goals for 2021. When I made the show announcement a few minutes ago on the pond, they all laughed at me. Because, well, yeah, it's 2021. So if we're going to set goals, we've got a short time to get there for 2021. Otherwise, we've got to set them for 2022. So that's what we're going to do, 2022. Easy for me to say. Good grief almighty. So 234-738-2552. You know the drill. You save that number on your phone because these live call shows pop up every so often. And you enjoy calling in. I know you do. Some of you do, some of you don't. Some of you like to leave me voicemail messages, which is even more fun. I don't have any of those queued up right now. I deleted all the good ones, I think, about how horrible the show is. All that other fun stuff. I love them. I should save them. But sometimes I get frustrated in the moment and delete them. I don't have any of them right now. So for those of you who are listening via podcast, you can obviously line up that number and leave me a message. Because you do. Doesn't matter if I want you to or not. You're going to do it. So, yeah. So goals for 2022. Man, that seems weird to say. Seems like yesterday was 2020. Of course, these last years have went by rather quickly, no matter how much I want to say they haven't. Okay, so how do we frame this show? What kind of goals should we be setting? Well, obviously, there's the personal goals, anything that you want to put out there publicly that you want to do. So peer pressure can get involved, obviously. As long as it's safe and productive, we'll entertain those. Professional goals, anything that we can help you with those. Obviously, we know people, so we can help you with some of those, maybe not. I don't know. What else? What other types of fun things are bound to happen out there? I don't know. I'm going to entertain any kind of goal that you want to put out there. Why? Because we need accountability, right? We need other people to be pulling for us or helping us or maybe rooting against us. I'm not sure. Depends on the goal, right? So, yeah, and if you want to see me set some goals, throw some things up there, and we'll come up to a conclusion, and we'll put them on the record. Because that's what this is all about, putting things on the record and moving things forward tonight. Why would we do that? Because why wouldn't you do that? And, you know, I learned a long time ago that you can start something any day. You don't have to wait till New Year's Day to make that change. You can make that change today. So we're going to do that. That's the goal, right? We're going to do that. And as I look at the camera, I keep seeing myself autofocus, and I'm sorry for those people out there who are watching on video because it's horrible. So we're going to fix that. Sorry. Live technical problem right there because this is live and I forgot to fix that earlier. Too busy fixing the year and all the post. So, good to see everybody on the pond. What are some goals? What are some things we need to think about? Dan Parker puts up there he wants to return to sanity after stepping back from politics, and I think we all need to return to some level of sanity from politics. I think we all need to take a step back and take a deep breath. And I know it's midterm election here, so I don't know how well that's all going to work. But boy, maybe for the next, 6 months, do you think we can all just kind of take a step back and a deep breath and say, they're people. I don't need to hate them so hard. A detox program. Yeah, that's why this program's here, right? No. To kind of steer you away from politics. Hopefully. What else? What other things are out there? I know I have some goals, some things out there. floating around. Obviously, want to continue to grow this community, so I don't know how we quantify that, so maybe somebody could put a statement to that. Obviously, increase the listenership. 2021 hasn't been the best year, I'm not going to lie. 2020 wasn't a good year either, so it's been a rough few years, but that's okay, because while the show hasn't necessarily hit those numbers, I feel we've done some good work in the interim, and that's the important thing, especially in the era where there's been a million more podcasts created. To even be bobbing close to where we need to be is amazing to me, so we'll just say that way. So we could put some goals in place for the show, some personal goals in place if you want me to, whatever. Or if you want to call in and throw out some goals that you have for yourself. I know it's kind of late last minute. I normally punt these shows out earlier, but sometimes they just come to me at the spur of the moment, and sometimes things don't line up the way they should, and here we be. So, staying alive. Man, that is a good goal every day. Okay, here we go. Personal goal for me, number 1. Right? Get to feeling a little bit better. Is that fair? Anybody who's been around for a while? I think everybody knows the drama that's been going on in my health and all this other stuff. And yeah, so how about that? Let's set some intentions there and some good thoughts and make that happen. Make that magic happen for once. How's that sound? Does that sound fair? Yeah. What else? More. I just want. How do I even word that? I don't even know how to word that at this point. But I know the success that. Like I said, I'm struggling to figure out how to word this. Because I'm thinking of like Sean Graham last week, and I look and I realize that he's doing great things, and I'm happy for him. And there's so many people that have come through the pond at one point or another and have done great things and continue to do great things, and great things that people do on the pond right now. I'm looking at a couple of them, like Cat Hobson and Brian Bowden, and, that they've all got good things going for them. So I just want people to continue to have success, even if it spites my own success at this point, right? I know that sounds ridiculous, but I'm happy when people around me are happy and doing well. Because I know the more people around me doing well, the better I'm going to do. Does that make... that sounds so cliche at this point, I think, right? But I know it's true. The better everyone's doing around me, the better I'm going to be doing. So, that's the fact. So, and all of you out there listening. And if you're listening on January 3rd, right? Because people listen to this show for months. I mean this. You are important. And you are valued. And you can do good things. Plain and simple. Okay. Enough of the metaphysical weird stuff. Yeah, geo observation post up there. The members of the duck pond success is good for the duck pond. It is. And as we've learned through the years, there's been different versions of the duck pond. There's been completely different groups of people in here and through here, and we've had wild success. So I'm happy for all of them. I can't think of anybody that I'm not happy for that have been a part of the show. So okay. 234-738-2552. So what's on your mind? I mean, like I said, I've got goals on my mind. I've got a lot on my mind, but I'm not sure where I want to, how much of it I want to spew out in the first few minutes, because I've already spewed a lot. Got to pace myself. So we're going to pull it back here for a second and think about it. Grab a drink. Always a good thing to do. Brian Bowden has a goal to meet me in person. Brian Bowden, I've got a story that I need to share on my Facebook about people getting to meet me. actually made news. So, deal with that. No joke. So, true story. It's a story. I'll send you guys a link so you guys can read it and understand. It's real news when it happens. To get... Oh, they do admit it. That's the fun part. What else? What other... I'm drinking lemonade tonight. I can't even say I'm drinking the Kool-Aid because I'm drinking lemonade tonight. That's the worst part. So, okay, so here's some fun things that I've been kind of stirring around the Echo pot here as I've been looking forward to looking for guests for 2022. Jeez, I almost said 2021 again. I'm stuck, guys. This year's not going to go without a kick and a scream. I've been digging into cults. Cults, yes, like Scientology and Jim Jones, and actually not enough lemonades. What's in the lemonade? It's kind of more like water tonight. So what happens, I seriously make these, I don't know, if you're watching on the video, you get these 32-ounce plastic mason jar jugs of things I drink during the show, which makes Tuesday night, Wednesday morning the worst night of the week, because most nights I do drink that much during the show, and as you can imagine, well, that bears problems for the rest of the evening. That's okay, though. My pain is your gain. Oh, God. Yeah, okay, that's the interesting thing. Like, I often wonder, because when you see them, like when you're seeing them from the outside and you look at it, it's easy to spot. It's very easy to spot, right? You can see it. But obviously, the people that are in them don't see it. And they've got sold on something that just doesn't make sense to the rest of us. But of course, we're not in his shoes. So that's part of what I've been documenting to death. Excuse me. Been watching I watched the show of Leah Remini and Mike Rinder. Been watching a lot of that show. Love to get either one of those on as a guest. They're phenomenal people. Powerful stories. That's amazing. So, Brian Bowden pops up a name, and I'm not going to get into that because I don't know enough about it. But I am interested because, well, he pops up a paranormal name, and I thought of a different paranormal name when I started thinking about paranormal cults. So there's that thought in my mind, too, that we might get into. The standard UFO stuff, because it seems like every day, right? There's a new UFO documentary out, so I've been trying to keep up on those for a change, which is different for me because anybody who knows me knows that UFO stuff is not my forte, but I've been trying to keep up with it a little bit more since it seems to be the issue right now. So we're probably going to be talking more about that in the coming weeks, months, years. Also, I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to approach this, but I do want to get into it. It's kind of the buzz. It's so 2020, right? So I guess it's time for me to get into it since it'll be 2022, which is true crime. Now, I'm obviously not going to sit here and tell you the stories. Like, there's plenty of good people out there who can get into that and do a way better job of that than I do, but I guess I kind of have been in that before, huh? With Jim Fitzgerald and some of those types, I guess. From my perspective, that's pretty amazing. I like Fitz. So we'll probably be getting into some of that too. Maybe some more detectives and some of the boots on the ground people in that ballpark. So, and if there's anybody out there listening to this show, and I'm sure there is, who fancies themselves as a potential guest, go ahead, light it up. I've been going through the people, and Yes, I have had some interesting cult members on this show. That's okay. That's the fun part, right, Brian? You know that. You know that as well as I do. That's part of the jig, right? We push the envelope around here. Either direction, both directions, up and down and side to side. So, yeah. So there's some of that stuff. Yeah, like I said, I don't know exactly where it's going to land. I do know that as I look at the list of people that as I look at the list of things that I want to talk about, it always grows longer than the list of shows that I do. So that's the other thing I've got to keep in mind, that sometimes I got to pull myself back instead of getting so deep into things, but that's okay. So there's all that. And let's see, what else? What else has been kind of sifting around in my head? Also been watching a lot of Forged in Fire. I don't know what that tells you about me or not. It's good background noise as I've been working on some stuff with the website and other stuff. Kind of, I don't know. It says something. I'm not sure what it is, though. But there's that for you all. Yeah. So I don't know where I'm at now. I've kind of lost. We started with goals, and I've kind of wandered through some of the show stuff I've been thinking about. So yeah, anything that you guys want to know, pick my brain a little bit, go ahead. I guess we'll just throw it open to all that stuff as well, as I'm kind of, I don't want to say being reflective, but I don't know what else to say, right? Because, yeah. 234-738-2552. Like I said, I'm caught me in a weird place tonight. So, it is a good thing. It's a powerful thing too, because when you've been doing this particular show, I thought about doing that, Brian, but I'd rather you guys have the anonymity of being able to say what you want without it being recorded forever. So that's why I don't do that. Because I see shows do that and they pop up the messages on the screen. And I like you guys being able to say whatever's on your mind and have the conversation you want to have, and leave that to you guys who are live and in person. Have that exclusivity for you guys. Not have it on the side over there as people get memorialized forever for being an idiot. Right? I don't think that's right. I don't think that's a good look for people. I think it protects the integrity of the duck pond. So I like that. And back to reflection, because I did start there and then I jumped. Yeah, doing this show for 10 years now, over 10 years now. It's going to be 11 before I know it. Good God. What am I doing? I do enjoy it. And that's the fun thing. Like, I kind of mentioned that, yeah, that well, the numbers aren't as strong as they were at one point, but the connection and the belief in the show is stronger than it ever has been. So that's the key. Yeah, it is interesting. They're talking about Pearl Harbor in the chat room, and I do find it interesting that some years this day comes and goes, and you see all the posts and all the other things, and some years it kind of sticks a little bit harder. And I think this is one of those years that, as some of them pointed out in the chat room, this one is one of those years that sticks a little bit harder, and I can't put my finger on it. Maybe it's because of all the tension in the air and all this other stuff. And those defining, polarizing moments, Pearl Harbor, 9/11, Those are American polarizing moments, I guess. For other people, they'd be different things around the world. I'm not trying to be exclusive there. I just don't know any of them. Truth be told, for people around the world, it's just a shame. I shouldn't have more about world history than I do, but I digress. That's not the point of where I was going. Make things pause and make you reflect. And I guess that's part of where the reflection was that I was referring to about the show. It's just kind of that kind of day where reflection is deep and needed. It's okay, Brian. You're allowed to have a typo once in a while. I'm still celebrating goals for 2021, so, happens to the best of us. Yeah, Dan Parker pops up there as a vet. It's kind of a melancholy day, and I had never really put that shoe perspective on. To think about it from that perspective. Putting that more reflective hat on, which isn't great at this moment. It doesn't make for good radio. It makes you see me sitting here staring and thinking about things, and isn't great radio. So we're not going to try to weather that storm too far out. But yeah. So yeah, but sadly they'd all be replaced. We're talking about something there on the duck pond, and it's just there. No matter what, there'd be another career politician to replace the politician that's in place now. So I don't see the end game of that. Sadly, I mean, yeah, that's the rough part. I don't know how far down the depth charge you'd have to get to somebody that would evoke real change in the way that you think you can get real change. And that's the scary part. And I'm talking broad-based, sweeping, whichever change you think you need. If it's left or right, there's always a politician in the way, or dozens. So more random deep sea thoughts. Also been thinking, because it popped up in my timeline from a year ago. We did live calls on the duck party. Before everybody gets excited about a party, we were forming a political party around here. So bear that in mind for whatever that was worth. That was good exercise, and we might get into that a little bit here if anybody wants to get into that. Revisit that. I don't know if it do us any good or not, but so. Always scary to think about forming a political party. So. What others? I'm drawing a blank. Oh, I got one for you. This has been a fact that I've been telling people, and welcome to the Malliard Report. How are you doing this evening?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Good. So I was just getting ready to say this. Now you're going to have to listen to it so I don't forget my train of thought.
What?
I've got a tidbit of knowledge that I blew my mind with the other day, and I was just getting ready to share it because I just opened my phone and I seen the Wikipedia page that I had open. So you're just going to have to listen to it now since you're here.
Since I'm here?
Since you're here.
I want to listen to it.
Well, then you're probably just going to hang up. Now, you're familiar with Nobel that farmed the Peace Prize, right?
Yes.
Okay. And he invented dynamite, right?
Yes.
Did you know his dad is the reason we have plywood?
What?
Yes. Alfred Nobel's dad invented the saw that we cut plywood with.
Get out of town.
Nope. I fell down that rabbit hole.
Always a font of information.
I fell down that rabbit hole the other day because I was watching one of those stupid home improvement shows, and they're like, imagine how, because it was really old plywood. And they're like, I didn't even realize plywood was that old. And so there I go on Google, and next thing I know.
Yeah. Google gets me into so many rabbit holes.
Yeah, I was going to say, that was a 35-minute search the world did not need, but there it was. And now I just imparted all that information on the world, so now you guys can go look that up.
Well, that's a good thing. It's better than a lot of the information I've had imparted on me in the last little while.
So how are you doing this evening?
I am doing well. I am getting ready for a show tomorrow night, and like you, I'm looking for guests for 2022. And just wanted to call you because of some of the stuff that was in the chat room that I wanted to say something about.
Yeah, go for it.
If that's okay.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we were talking about politicians, and Brian had a really terrific idea of arrest all individuals who have committed crimes against humanity, and at least somebody'd be staying in jail. But a lot of that too is that we always see the public faces of politicians, the ones that are up there trying to get elected, that are trying to tell you that they're going to change your world and rock your world, and they're going to meet every need that you have, and even the ones you don't know you have yet, right? But the ones that truly rule the world, and the ones who are the mechanism behind the atrocities that we see, are the ones who are not elected. It's like the people elected, the presidents, vice presidents, to an extent the senators, unless they've been there for decades, and the House of Representatives too. But the people that are full-time staffers are the ones who work the agenda. And they seem to be impervious to change. Nobody ever does anything to get rid of them because they're full-timers. You cannot fire a federal employee without an act of God, period. And they all know that. So, when you're looking at the public face of government, you've got Biden here. People can't stand Kamala because she keeps disappearing, and it's just really all the words that are getting slung at people, the words that were slung at Trump, the words that were slung at Bush, ad infinitum. But they're not the problem. The problem is the people that are the day-to-day, push the papers through, get the signatures on them. Half the time, people don't know what they're signing. And those are the threats, and those are the people with agendas that are working through other people who are putting the words into other people's mouths. So that was just a thought that I had, and I just thought that since we had gone to politics in the duck pond, that I would just share that opinion and see what you thought.
Well, I've been, like I said a little bit ago, I've been watching all these UFO documentaries, trying to, I don't want to say get caught up to speed, because, man, they're, whew. Anyways, we're not going to get into that. But the point is, like, you think about the Project Blue Book and MK Ultra and all those Philadelphia experiment, all these, all those government projects within ufology. Well, they were never passed through. If they were some small blip on a big bill nobody paid attention to, and they railed through. And
right.
They've ruined, I don't want to say ruined, but have held back ufology, or discredited, or whatever.
Well, it's more like the Oz thing, right? Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain.
Yeah.
Because it's hiding in plain sight.
Yeah, well, everything's hiding in plain sight.
Yeah.
Except for the stuff that Disney painted. What is that? Go away green.
Yes.
There's more useless
I
information for you.
Well, we are fonts of useless information because we're always trying to keep up with who's doing what so we can bring them to our guests, right?
Well, that's the fun thing. Like, you fall down these rabbit holes trying to find interesting people, and you always find out these weird things. And then you spend time figuring out if that little tidbit of information you've seen online is an actual thing or just crap somebody posted on the internet. Because we deal in the crap that people post on the internet versus reality more than most people.
We do.
So.
And sometimes you have to have discernment to know what's really crap and what is reality, because sometimes they hide together.
And Brian Barnum will appreciate me saying this. Sometimes you bring on the crap just for fun.
True that. And he will. But, I know that he was trying to call in.
Yeah.
And
I appreciate you.
So,
so
I appreciate you too. And
no, correct me if I'm wrong, because I seen this on Facebook minutes before my show. So, as you can imagine,
well, then you know it's true.
Well, it's your Facebook, so it better be true.
If it's mine, it is.
But so correct me if I'm wrong. You have Steve Stockton on tomorrow.
I do have Steve Stockton on tomorrow. I'm very excited about that.
And he has a new book out soon. Today, yesterday.
What's today? Today is the
7th. Tomorrow, maybe? I don't know.
7th. I think it's the 11th.
Okay.
I'm not positive. Don't take me at my word on that. I'm not positive.
Tune in tomorrow night, and you'll hear the straight truth from Steve, not the two hosts speculating about Steve.
Right. Well, he was supposed to be on with me last week, and he fell ill. So I'm very excited that he's feeling better. And thanks, Brian. I thought that was Friday. But I'm just really looking forward to this conversation because I wander a lot, or I was, in the Cherokee Forest, right?
Yeah.
The Smoky Mountain National Forest, because there's all kinds of things there that I find interesting to investigate, and I try to document what I can. And so I'm up there a lot while David's at the casinos or whatever. And when I read his book about disappearances and all this other stuff, I was like, oh, guess who is not going into the wild by herself after dark anymore? So he has changed my behavior already.
Well, it'd be interesting to hear the rest of the story, I guess. Well, I guess the good news is you didn't disappear, so I guess we can't start those rumors, but...
Brian said, I do. I am always protected. So, and unfortunately, I live in a state where if you go to get your pistol permit, it is automatically a concealed carry. Now you don't even have to have one, but I do have one. I follow. It's amazing to a lot of people. I'm a rules follower.
And I almost fired off a joke that would have got me in trouble with some people. So.
Uh-oh.
Ugh. That would have been bad.
Fired off based on the firearm?
Yeah. Well, it was going to be a metaphysical joke if you could figure that one out. But okay.
There you go. Well, I am loving your ponderings.
Well, I'm glad somebody is.
Well, I always do. And I'm going to hang up, but before I do, I want to reiterate what I put in chat, which is that I would not be where I am today if it were not for you. And, when I had to, I've been on the air forever, and then I had to do something on my own due to other people's behaviors. And if it had not been for you saying, are you ready for some help? To which I said, yes. I really would not be where I am, and I appreciate you so much for that.
Well, I appreciate
because you're a true friend, but you're so good at what you do.
I appreciate the kind words, but you would have figured it out. I have no doubt, but I was glad to help you figure it out soon.
But it would not have been as easy. And it wasn't easy. It's still not easy, but it would not have been. I would not be where I am without your friendship.
Again, I appreciate that. But before I forget, because we started down this road and we forgot to do it, 8, 9 tomorrow, because it's Wednesday, so it'll be 9, right?
I start. All shows on my network start from at 8, and the Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Sunday shows are all 8 to 10 Eastern. And we have a show on Friday nights that's an hour, and it's from 8 to 9 Eastern.
And where do people listen to that, Kat? Come on, finish the promo.
Oh, my goodness. Well, they would
finish
certainly
strong,
go to wbhm-db.com.
Pretend like you've done this once or twice.
Well, I have, but I don't. When I call you, I'm talking to a friend. I'm sorry, but yes. We are on iHeart, iTunes, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon, you name it. There's other ones that I can't even remember. Let's see, YouTube. We're everywhere.
Yeah.
Probably not as many places as you, but we're there. We're out.
I was joking with somebody this afternoon. Actually, he was in the chat room earlier, but he's not there anymore. Captain Canada. I sent him a banner from a show host. Oh, God, that's going to get me in trouble, too. I should have shut up. Oh, well, I'm going to say it.
You can't go there now.
I was going to say, I'm going to go with it now because I've already started too far down. And I sent him a banner from the show host. Show host is irrelevant because I think he probably does a solid show, but had his little picture up there and had all the places, right? Like you just mentioned. Right. YouTube, Google Podcast, Amazon, Spotify, iTunes, whatever it is, Apple Podcast, excuse me. Old guy talking here.
Yeah, right.
You know, there was like 12 of them on this banner, right?
On the banner? On
the banner for his show. There was 12 of these different places. And I said, I like NASCAR, but man.
I do not do, although I do think politicians should have all of the logos of their sponsors on their clothes. I don't care if it's a $2,000 suit, $5,000 suit. You let me see who's paying you to do what you want to do.
At least they're bigger donors, right? Like they could wear. I'm sure we could get snazzier NASCAR suits made for them.
I think so, and I think it should be mandatory. Let me know who you're selling me out to.
We could get them made in blue and red, and I mean, why not?
And they'd be so cute.
Because we already know what team they bat for, but we could red sleeves on the shoulders so we know, or blue, or.
Wouldn't be a problem.
Save some money on them.
I think they should be proud of it. I mean, they're making the checks. They should be proud of what they're doing and show that, right?
They cash the checks, you mean?
Yeah. Well, they make the money. Yeah.
Well, they're
cash the checks, make the money.
The campaign makes the money.
Well, there is trade in kind. So, and you know what that used to be called. So.
Yes, we're not going
to. They should all have red lights out of their offices.
Oh boy!
So, I'm getting you in trouble. I am not getting you in trouble because you're independent.
I was going to say I'm an independent, so
yeah.
I get myself in enough trouble.
What I want.
I get
but
myself.
Then I'm going to get all. I'll be blushing. But well, I am going to go so that Brian can call you.
If he wants to. If not, somebody else may want to jump in here with, 20 minutes left. Oh,
absolutely.
Good grief.
I know. Your shows go so fast, and especially when you have a call-in show that I call in on, because we don't talk often enough. So,
it's like,
anyway.
There's the joke about somebody meeting me earlier. Well, it's kind of the thing. Like, I kind of live in this exclusive, weird universe where...
I tell you what. All you have to do is go to an exclusive weird con, and you'll meet everybody that you ever thought you might possibly want to. So.
And that's why I don't. No.
I did my first year. I did go my first year, and I learned a lot. So they have their purpose. It's not all about selling stuff. It's that's how I met Stanton.
Yeah.
I actually called him, and he called me back on my watch. And I had to tell him, I'm Dick Tracy and you Stanton, I'll call you right back. And he was like, what? So I called him back and he was like, what is this Dick Tracy? I said, you called and I answered on my watch and I couldn't figure out how to make it good on my phone. So, and he was like, you talked to me on your watch.
That's still weird to me, and I'm not even that old.
Well, it's weird to me too because I don't know how to make it go away. I did successfully today when my husband called me. Well, I just had to find my phone and it changed right over. But that's the first time in years I've done it that I've managed to succeed.
I thought you just made the call go away, but you actually made it work. That was disappointing. No.
The switching, yeah. I was not going to take a chance with that with Stanton Friedman. I just said, I'll call you right back. But that was my, so those comms are good for stuff.
Oh, they are. But they're also, well, anyways.
Well, they're expensive, and they're always in resorts, and it's just like, holy cats. I'm good.
Yeah. If they want me there, they can bring me there. Nobody's wanted me there.
And I was fortunate my first year, and that happened. But I still had some expenses, but they were pretty much worth it because I did get to learn a lot and see a lot and experience a lot. But
and I'll say it here.
And what?
Since I'm looking at it, I had a bunch of stuff made, and I'm showing the camera. That tells you how long ago that was for the old Malliard duck with the duck with the weird font and on the black. So that tells you how long ago that was. I had a bunch of those postcards made because I was invited to an event, given a table, or supposedly given a table, right? All the perks of being a full-blown person there. Of course, that was 6 months before the event was going to happen, and then about 2 weeks before, I said, "Hey, confirming, got all the, I'm ready to go." Oh, I forgot, and I sold it. I don't need you now. Oh,
get out of town.
Great. Well, that's $150 I'm never getting back.
Well, true, but at least you had the stuff, and you can do other stuff with it.
I'm still trying to get rid of it.
Well, I did not do cuts and stuff. I just did, the business cards and a banner or two and stuff. But because I wasn't planning on staying still, I was there to meet and learn and stuff. So that was the year I got to see Von Daniken 4 different times lecturing, and he allowed me to take images of some of his slides and stuff just for me. And he was just brilliant. So I had a bang-up year that year.
Well, every once in a while.
Every once in a while.
So,
well, I'm going to hang up so other people can talk to you.
Okay, if you must.
I must.
Have a good chat, Mark.
Later.
Yep.
You
Thanks,
too. Bye.
And that's Kat Hobson of Paranormal Experience. We forgot to give the name of the show out because that's how special we are. Good show host. So I've been on there a couple different times, I think. At least once. She does another show, which is Fate Magazine Radio, which is on Sundays. So I've been on there at least once, too. So good stuff. Go check her out. Go check out her network. The network's good, too. So, all good. Yeah, you're supposed to ask permission to take pictures. Apparently. I mean, I don't know. I don't take that many pictures, so what do I know? Don't ask me. Twice, and on, yes, I did mention Fate. I was getting there. Twice. I need to update that. Somebody who's bored, who likes to Google, raise their hand. I got a project for you. Because I've got a project for you. Somebody who's bored and likes to Google things. Nobody's raising their hand yet. Okay. Well, maybe one of the podcast listeners out there does. I had created a couple years ago a page of all the interviews that I have done and all the blogs that I've been mentioned in and all that other stuff. And, yeah. Well, good evening. What is going on over there?
Hello.
Hello.
It's me. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Sorry, there it goes. Windows is being funky,
I
but
just
you know.
figured I'd call. Well, I definitely got to check out Paranormal Experience.
Yeah, Kat's a good host, and she does good work. I'm not just saying that because
I'm sure she does. I'm sure she does. And it's always good to know that anybody in the duck pond that can offer help will help without even questioning.
Yes.
So that's what's wonderful about your show, Jim, and you, and everybody that's in there. Anytime. But you were talking about goals, so I'm going to tell you a goal.
Sure.
I want to be more creative and in the process happier. When I say that, I'm not just talking about, doing a show or a podcast or a live stream. I'm talking about, getting back to painting and art and music.
So I'm going to stop. I'm going to cut you off right there. When you said you wanted to be more creative, the first word that jumped in my mind was painting. And I almost just blurted it out, and I let you keep talking, but I just had to say it because it was weird. So go ahead.
I think this is actually a big problem that most people in this planet are experiencing right now, that they're stuck behind a desk or a computer. Even in their free time, there are desks and computers. And what you need to do is get sloppy and messy if you can, and, let your creativity flow. It may not be painting. It could be building a birdhouse. It could be planting a garden. We have to get back to what we were meant to do, and it wasn't sitting in front of a computer or, asking the same questions over and over again about Roswell or
hey, easy, leave Roswell go. That's very important around here.
I'm just saying that most people want to be creative, but they're not. And I'll tell you that, my oldest daughter played some songs for me that she likes to listen to, and I think they last no more than like a minute and a half, because I don't think they have attention span beyond that. In general.
No, that's not true.
And
I know the answer to that.
I think, well, what's the answer?
The answer to that is more streams, more plays, more music. Shorter songs.
No, I understand. I understand the concept to it. And when I'm in the process of recording a couple of songs with a buddy of mine right now, and we were trying to figure out how to do this, and I said, we're just going to give it to my daughter and let her release it. And we're not even going to show a picture of anybody. We're just going to go, you send it out there. And that's how you get things done. You use your kids in the right manner, and you send it out. And that's how it gets to the ether. And when people don't see the picture or the person that goes with it initially, and they just, like what they're hearing or seeing crazy video was, that's more important, because they're getting what you really want them to get. And that's been a successful model for a while. Most people aren't using it now. But that's my goal. I mean, I'd like to win the Powerball, Mega Millions, that too. I think that's where we should be, because I think it'll make people happier.
No, I totally agree with you. And you're onto something here. About.
I've seen a lot of things end in the last 2.5 years. Currently, I just found out today, just a couple hours before the show, that my uncle had a stroke in the middle of his driveway. And he's not on a breathing machine, thank God, but he's not out of the woods, and he's, in a hospital. And I think every day when I go on Facebook, it's automatic. I'm so sorry for your loss. That's all I keep saying to people. Yeah. Whether it's a pet or a loved one or an uncle or a sister or a brother, I've never in my life said that to so many people, ever, everywhere you go. And I think maybe we need to stop fighting with each other for a bit and just start creating things, good things, not like junk, well, not another group or a protest.
Well, you'll appreciate this, right? You ready for you watched the show on video, so you're very familiar with the sign that I made over my shoulder, right? That creative process that went into that. Well, it wasn't really creative. It was
the light bright, yes.
driving my neighbors nuts for 7 hours with the router outside. I apologize again for that. I know they listen to the program.
That's all right.
Was at least a nice day. Of course, that's why it was a problem, because they had the windows open.
That's what you're allowed to do when you have, that's part of it.
All right, but that's the thing, right? And as I sat there doing that, the thought kept running through my mind, because I create all these shows, right? There's all this digital stuff, all this digital footprint that has been created, hundreds of hours of shows and videos and tweets and all, it's all digital, right?
Right.
What's going to be left someday, right? Well, besides these pile of postcards and other little random trinkets, there isn't much.
No, there isn't. I mean, unless you start building a pyramid in your backyard.
Hey, don't be revealing the secrets.
Keep building a pyramid, just leave them alone. You don't want to go near that. No, leave them alone.
I think you've heard the joke on this show that I'm not building the Ark at Home Depot, so building pyramids is probably out of the question.
It's actually very interesting. And I'll give you a classic example of someone who, and granted, he may have his own issues too, but he comes across as a very warm, happy, go-lucky kind of guy. Is Germantown Runner, and what does he do for a living? He creates, he interviews people, but he creates that story that they're going to publish for him. It's a very interesting concept. Go out, paint, go take a class someplace. Well, if you can. I don't know what the rules and regulations are these days.
Yeah, but you can learn how to do anything online.
Yeah, you can. I was just trying to, get you out of the house for a little bit.
Nope. Nope. And Kim asked, where is Germantown Runner tonight? He's at a fancy soiree or a dinner or something. I don't know. No. He did tell me, and it kind of went and in one ear and out the other. He told me he wasn't going to be here, and I'm happy for him being out in the town. That's all that matters. So.
Oh, I think it's great that he's out in the town. I wanted to ask him about the fact that we just went to DEF CON 3. But, hey, what do I know? I'll get him next week.
Hopefully I was going to say, he'll probably be here next week.
On 2.
Yeah, next week he'll be gone, and then, and by that point we'll be at DEF CON 4, and DEF CON 3 won't really matter.
Well, DEF CON 4 is not bad. It's when you get to DEF CON 1 that you have a problem.
Oh, wow.
So it's that reverse thing.
Yeah, I was going to say, as soon as that came flying out of my mouth, I knew it was backwards, but too late.
No, some of them, they have new ones now that it's color-coded, because I think the general population is not as bright enough as they have to be. And wait,
that's a bad pun if you're talking about colors.
What about colors?
Well, you said not bright enough, and then you said that we have to use colors.
I got it. I got it now.
Okay.
I understand.
I'm sorry.
That's Jim, everybody. Try the veal.
Okay. Well, Brian will be here all week. I won't be.
No, I won't. I figured, what the heck, I'll call in. I'll let someone else call in. But that's it. That was my goal, creativity.
Well, I figured you're on to something.
Well, maybe we could make that the Duck Pond official political party's motto. Maybe we're going to create creativity.
You know how they have those sip and paint things?
Oh, yeah.
Maybe we should do one of those one of these nights.
How are we going to do that?
Well, we could get on Zoom or something, and all of us just hang out.
That's not a bad idea.
And paint.
How about here you go. Ready? Here, I'm gonna mix a couple things together. Use your video. Get somebody on video to do that, and say, this is what we're gonna do, and tell everybody what to get.
Yeah.
And then everybody paints it, and then they send it into your P.O. box or whatever it is, and then we auction it off for charities, and we give the money to people that need it.
There's something here. Stay tuned.
There you go.
Breaking news.
That's not a bad idea.
Because I think, we could get some.
Either that, or we're gonna have Germantown runners standing, naked, posing. Don't let them know that just yet. Like, just turn the camera on. No, just turn the camera. But I'm naked. Yeah. We're doing an art class today. See what he says. That would be interesting.
I'm sure it would be.
You want me to do what? No. Or draw the line. But yeah, be creative. I love the shows. I love the fact that you're thinking cults. I mean, that's something different.
Yeah.
You got to be careful though, because you don't want to upset that apple cart.
Yeah, it's kind of like the mob, right?
Depending on which you were going. If you're saying Scientology, sure. But there are other ones that they're just bat crazy that you may get some ramifications from it.
That's what I'm saying.
You don't need that in your life.
Kind of like the mob.
You know? Then you'd have to go deeper in the witness protection program you're in already.
Yeah, I was going to say, and you're concerned for me, why?
Well, yeah, they're never going to find you. They'll find Bigfoot first, riding the Loch Ness Monster before they'll get to Jim Malliard's house.
I think somebody would find me eventually. That's the scary part.
Yeah, your kids will.
Yeah, I was going to say,
Dad, I need some money for this.
I was going to say, I'm not off the grid, as much as people like to think I am. No.
You're pretty close. I mean, you know, your state is a vast landmass of nothingness. And
little houses
you can lose somebody seriously 10 steps into PA at this point.
Yeah. There's places that you don't even have to be 10 steps to lose them.
I mean, I drove out to Western PA, and I'm looking at the road, and there could be like 15 Bigfoots standing there in the wood line smoking cigarettes like 5 feet from the road. You'd never catch them. It's so dark in those forests, it's beyond belief.
And those are the ones that you drove through. Imagine the ones that, the places that, you know, are off the big highway.
Oh my God. I got to a certain point, and then we went on to like these, I guess, county roads or country roads.
Mm-hmm.
You know, sometimes they're 2 lanes. Sometimes they're 1.
Sometimes they have, I love the ones that have the middle line and neither side is big enough.
Yes. Yes. It's just enough. And then you have like this, I don't know, killing field type of thing going on in your state where there's blood everywhere. I just learned to stay behind the 18-wheelers because if they see a deer, they don't stop. They just speed up.
I was going to say, there's nothing worse than the splat on the interstate from a deer.
Oh, let me tell you, the spray is pretty interesting too. Kind of like fireworks, but not. Well, you have an interesting state.
So do you, but
I wish you a good night.
Yeah, I was going to say, we've got less than a minute left, so I guess I should push you off so I can get out of here myself. So
you got it. Bye.
Bye. So everybody, random ponderings, goals, some live calls. I had a good time. I'll be honest, it was fun tonight. Wasn't what I was expecting, but never is when I do live calls because I'm never exactly sure, and I don't want to script them too far because I want them to be spontaneous and live. I want you to feel that. I don't want to sit here and read notes that I've prepared. So I hope you understand that and follow that. If you have not subscribed, go check it out. Spotify, all those fun sites. Yeah, hit me on social media. I'm looking forward to talking to you, or the email, or anywhere you want to. But yeah, there's a lot going on. A lot of cool things going on too. So 2022 will be our year. Keep it up. Until next week. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Malliard Report. Stay tuned for details on saving money at the Duck Pond Shop. I hope you enjoyed this report. Please subscribe so that you can join us again. And if you appreciate the show, leave us some stars or a review. For more notes from this show or other great shows, check out Malliard.com. A reminder, the views and opinions of this show are those of the host and guest and do not represent any sponsors, affiliates, or any other partners of the Malliard Report. Now for your money-saving tip. Promo code Malliard at checkout of duckpondshop.com, where you can get your t-shirt, coffee mug, and other great products. That's promo code Malliard at checkout, duckpondshop.com. Until next week, stay safe and keep quacking.